I want you to imagine, just for a moment, the perfect city. A place that runs with absolute flawless efficiency. A true masterpiece of design. Let's take a look at the blueprint for a metropolis like that.
First off, this city is home to millions, and every single citizen works together almost like a single organism, moving toward a common goal. And even with that incredible population density, there are no traffic jams. None. Movement is constant, completely seamless.
On top of that, its climate is perfectly controlled. It somehow maintains a stable temperature day and night without ever using a single watt of electricity.
And maybe most incredibly, through all of this, there's zero chaos, just perfect, quiet order. And it's maintained without a police force, without a government, without even a single leader calling the shots.
So the obvious question is, who could possibly build a place like this? I mean, what kind of masterminds could design a city that solves problems we humans still struggle with every single day?
Well, believe it or not, the answer has been right under our feet this whole time. Forest ants. These tiny little insects have spent millions of years creating some of the most sophisticated and efficient cities on the entire planet. And you know what? They might just hold the key to designing our own future.
To really get what makes them so brilliant, we have to look beneath the surface. Because when you see a small mound of dirt in the forest, you're only seeing the very tip of the iceberg, the tiny front door to a sprawling underground metropolis. The sheer complexity down there is just astounding. This is not just a hole in the ground, it's a fully functional city. You've got dedicated nurseries for raising the young, huge chambers for storing food, and even sophisticated waste management systems. And it's all connected by intricate highways and ventilation tunnels that act like a living lung for millions of inhabitants.
And this is where it gets really fascinating. Because these ant cities have elegantly solved two of the biggest problems that absolutely plague our own modern cities: traffic jams and our huge reliance on energy for climate control.
I mean, just think about your daily commute, the gridlock, the endless stopping and starting. It's a system that relies on central controls like traffic lights, and let's be honest, it fails a lot. Ants, on the other hand, have no central control at all. Their solution is decentralized, it's self-organizing, and it's all based on a really simple but brilliant communication system. They do all this using something called pheromones. A pheromone is basically an invisible chemical message. Think of it like a trail of breadcrumbs, but made of scent. It's like a biological GPS, signaling to other ants that, hey, this path is worth following. And this reveals the decentralized genius of their whole system. It all starts with just one ant finding some food. On its way back, it leads that pheromone trail. Pretty soon, others pick up the scent and follow it. As more and more ants use that same path, the trail gets stronger, which attracts even more ants. And just like that, the most efficient routes naturally get reinforced and become superhighways, all without a single traffic engineer or city planner.
And here's the unbelievable part. Studies have actually shown that these trails self-organize into something that looks remarkably like a 3-lane highway. You get a lane for outgoing traffic, a lane for returning traffic, and even a flexible middle lane for overtaking. No collisions, no road rage, just perfect, efficient flow.
So just as they've mastered traffic, ants have also completely solved our massive energy problem. We rely on these expensive, polluting HVAC systems to heat and cool our buildings. Ant colonies, though, they maintain a perfect internal climate with absolutely zero energy costs, using a passive system that's often called the living lung.
So how do they do it? Well, the science behind it is called the Venturi effect. The ants cleverly build their tunnels with different widths, so when wind blows over the top of the mound, it's forced through these narrower openings, and that makes it speed up. This creates low pressure that literally pulls the stale, carbon dioxide-rich air out from the deep chambers and sucks fresh, oxygenated air in. It's a constant, natural breathing process.
Okay, so we have perfect traffic flow and zero energy climate control. But here is the most mind-bending part of this entire story. There is no master architect. No one is in charge. This incredible, unbelievable complexity is created without any blueprint whatsoever.
This process actually has a name. It's called stigmergy. It's a form of intelligence where individuals don't communicate directly with each other, but indirectly, by changing the environment itself. So, one ant digs up a little pellet of soil and puts it somewhere. A second ant sees that pellet and then reacts to it, placing its own pellet nearby. The action of one ant becomes the trigger for the action of another. And the key takeaway here is that each ant is just following very simple local rules. It has no grand concept of building a nursery or a ventilation shaft. Its behavior is based on immediate cues. If the soil is loose, dig. If a tunnel feels crowded, start a new one. And from these tiny individual actions, a massive, intricate, and intelligent structure just emerges.
All of this forces us to ask a really profound question as we look to build the smart cities of the future. Are we even looking in the right place? What can we learn from these ancient natural architects?
When you look at it this way, you see two fundamentally different design philosophies. Human design is so often top-down, rigid, and centrally controlled. We try to fight complexity by forcing order onto it. But nature's design, the one we see in the ant colony, is the exact opposite. It's decentralized, it's flexible, and it's adaptive. It doesn't fight complexity, it embraces it. It works with it.
This all leads to a really powerful realization. You know, we often think of technology as something shiny and new and man-made. But as the quote says, sometimes the most advanced technology is millions of years old, just perfected by nature over eons of evolution.
Which leaves us with this one final thought to chew on. We've always thought of cities as things we build from a fixed blueprint. But what if the smartest, most resilient, and most efficient cities of the future aren't built at all? What if, by learning from the ants, we can create cities that actually grow, adapt, and evolve, just like living things?